let's not belabor the time any further. Joining us here on 105 The Fan via Zoom with his upside down Dallas Mavericks hat. Shout out to True Brand. He is the host on Locked On Mavs with his boy Isaac Harris, and of course, I'm gonna call you the czar of the Locked On NBA Network.
Czar, that feels a little strong.
It works.
Well, him and Howard Beck could be out here, just doing shows every other day. It feels like, during the NBA Finals.
Do you get to do the What Up Beck, or is that exclusively Zach Lowe's thing?
I get to do the What Up Beck.
Oh, okay.
One of his emails is What Up Beck, so I think that he takes it all over the place with him. It follows with him because the first person to do What Up Beck was Kobe. So
that's true.
If it isn't just for Kobe, then it's for all of us.
Nick Angstadt joining us here on the Get Right. Of course, you can find him on Twitter at Nick Van Exit, one of my favorite handles on Twitter. Before we get to the Mavericks real quick, what have you thought about the NBA Finals so far? Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray putting on all the shows so far in the NBA Finals.
First of all, I think you played Lose Yourself because I was coming on.
Don't let his whiteness take away from his quickness. Come on.
I completely forgot about
we were getting drops.
Oh,
yes.
God.
Yes.
The finals, man, have been awesome. It's been great to see Jokic on this stage, to finally have people like Stephen A. Smith get to watch him for the first time, like get to see him and see him play.
Stephen A. got on national television today and was like,
he's not a good post player.
He don't have a post-up game.
Is he not?
JJ Redick was like, hey, Stephen A., did you know?
I have seen him stuff many a player into a basket.
Bro, he was like, did you know over the last 10 years, the most efficient play in basketball is a Nikola Jokic post-up? Oh,
it's not a Steph Curry pull-up three. Right. It's not a layup from whoever. It's not a Giannis dunk.
It's a Nikola Jokic post-up, and Stephen A. was like, well,
goodness. Yeah, correct. So it's been great to see that happen. This Heat team, as much as in every fiber of our being, like as Mavs, people that cover the Mavs and love the Mavs, like you want to hate them. It's kind of hard to hate Jimmy Butler. It's kind of hard to hate Bam and Spo and like what they've been doing. Seems like at least it's a new generation of Heat, right? Haslam, I guess, Haslam and Spo have been the connective tissue between the Heat teams that we love to hate and the Heat teams of today. But just watching that team, like it is just fun to see them play and to see them be an 8th seed making it to the NBA Finals. But I'm loving it. I picked Denver in 5. The Heat, their 3-point shooting.
Yep.
Their 3-point shooting can get them to a series win, because if they shoot 45 to 50% from 3, they can win. They did it in game 2, but I just think Denver's got too many answers and their offense is just going to be too good and the Heat won't be able to keep up.
I mean, and Tyler Hero's not making his way back, so I don't know that they have enough playmakers actually to do this against what is a
Imagine Tyler Hero trying to guard Jokic in this, though.
Hell no.
That's one of their problems.
Yeah, that is the tough part, is like, because he was one of your 2 dudes that could actually play make, but he was also a dude that would make it so that you actually have a guy that can't play defense on the court compared to what they have now, although they are playing Duncan Robinson, so maybe I should pull that. But for the most part, like they have a dude that can cover and play defense at any given point, which has been their strength, except what are you doing against the monsters of the Denver Nuggets at this point?
Well, and it's kind of, I mean, you say monsters, but it's kind of just like Jokic. Like, he's just insane. And Jamal Murray stepped up. He had a 30-point triple-double, only done 13 times in NBA history. One of them, Jamal Murray now. One of them, Jokic, and only 11 other times other than that. So
and they had the nerve to do it in the same game.
but Jokic has just been, I mean, he's just so good. He controls every single aspect of the game. I talked about it on Locked On NBA the other night. He just controls the game. He's under control. It's what Luka can do for the Mavericks. You just control every aspect of the game, and Luka can do that. We have not seen it.
Let me go ahead and turn this into a question. Like, what about Jokic's game do you see that gives you, or like what in Jokic's game do you see as opportunities for growth for Luka?
Well, you see the similarities between the two is that at any point when they have the ball, they have all the options. Like, it's every option. Like, you have all the maybe not the jump over a dude and like jam on him, but not a lot of guys are doing that in the NBA anymore. There's not guys just jumping off of a trampoline and just yamming on guys because they're just all too athletic, game moves too fast and all that. You just can't get away with that anymore. But with Jokic and Luka, they both have, when the ball's in their hands, you saw Luka post up a bunch last year and the year before and in his career, and he's got every option out of that. He can make every single pass on the court. There's not many players that can do that. It's like him, Jokic, LeBron James. Like, there's just not many that can make every pass. They can. They've got the size. And they've got really good touch around the rim. Luka has struggled with that the last couple of years, with finishing around the rim. I think some of it could be conditioning, but Jokic got in really good shape in like his year. What is it? He's 27, 28 right now. Like his year 25, 26. When he turned 25, 26, he really got in good shape, came back. There was all that talk at training camp. Oh, skinny Jokic. Remember skinny Jokic? Like he's back with he's back from Serbia with his horses, and everybody was all excited. And he won the MVP, right? Like we're literally all just waiting for Luka to do that. And we're hoping that he's, working with the personal chef and the personal trainer and like all that kind of stuff just to get to where he needs to be. The other thing with Jokic, though, is he gets other people involved. There's not as much of pounding the rock and like looking for his own shot. Like Jokic barely ever looks for his own shot. Luka does, first and foremost, and that's the big difference between the two. And you can try and ask Luka to try and be more like Jokic in that way, but at a certain point, then you're asking somebody to be something that they're not in a way. And even though Luka can do all the things that Jokic is to a degree, and so it's just about coaching and how you want to coach Luka to become a better version of himself. And I don't know that we saw Jason Kidd do that last year.
Nick Angstadt of Locked On Mavs joining us here on the Get Right with Reggie KG here on 105 through the Fan. Nick, we are just 2 weeks away from the NBA draft. What are you doing with the number 10 pick for the Mavericks?
I think they're going to trade it. I think they're going to look around and try.
Can I stop you real quick? Because a listener let us know. I don't know if you knew this. They can't technically trade the pick. They can trade the player once that player is selected. I just wanted to let you know because we were let know.
Thank you, salary cap guru, Reggie. Yeah, like they have to wait till the draft, but they can trade it the same way that they acquired Luka Doncic, but they technically drafted Trae Young. Like it would have to be a trade, like it would have to be a deal like that, where it's the stupid thing where the player comes and puts the Mavs hat on, but the player ends up going to, I don't know, the Pacers for Miles Turner or something like that. They got to make they have to make some kind of move like that to where you have to get with this asset. This is their best asset they're going to have this offseason especially, but maybe their best asset besides Luka in a little bit here. Maybe Jaden Hardy becomes one, maybe Josh Green becomes one, but this could be their best asset in a little while to get a bona fide somebody that can play 30 to 40 minutes in a playoff game. Like part of the rotation. If you go through this rotation, this roster, and say, who do I feel real comfortable with playing 30 to 40 minutes in a playoff game? It's Luka. If Kyrie comes back, it's Kyrie. And then after that, it's like, do I feel good about Reggie Bullock anymore? Maybe. Maxi Kleba? Probably not. Like you're just running it. Josh Green, maybe he can get there with one more leap this offseason, but you're running out of names there. Tim Hardaway, I don't know. You're running out of names at that point. And so you got to get somebody like that. You got to get your own version of Aaron Gordon. The Nuggets traded a first-round pick for him. You got to go get like a Malcolm Brogdon. The Celtics traded a first-round pick for him. A Derek White. The Celtics traded a first-round pick for him. Like you got to go do that kind of a move, and then hopefully get off of a Davis Bertans contract, a Tim Hardaway contract, because this new salary cap and CBA is coming in fast and furious, and it's going to be really tough. And there's going to be a lot of teams trying to make some moves to duck it.
Okay, so is there a particular hypothetical trade that caught your attention? Because I know that Tim Cato was talking about the idea of being able to get off of Bertans, sending him to Brooklyn with the 10 pick on his lapel and receiving back the 21 in addition to Royce O'Neal. And maybe I'm just like, I'm in the point where I'm not assuming that they're going to get a lot back after, dumping Bertans, but is there a particular pick or a particular trade that has caught your attention?
Yeah, the one that we've talked about. So on the Locked On Podcast Network, on Locked On NBA, we do a collective mock draft where all of the hosts of all the teams, because we have a host for every single team. We have a show for every single team 5 days a week. We do the Mavericks one. You can get it on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. And we had a trade set up with the Cavs to send Tim Hardaway in the 10th pick for Jared Allen, because the Cavs are looking at this situation now where they don't have enough shooting. And they also have Evan Mobley, who's ready or should be ready soon to step into that 5 role. And they're not going to hit their peak unless he steps into that role the way Anthony Davis did for the Lakers and, Bam Adebayo did for the Heat. Like they have to have him step into that role. And so maybe they push it forward and say, all right, let's do this. We can't have 2 non-shooters on the floor. It just didn't work against the Knicks. They lost in the first round. And that was a pretty big disappointment. And so we had that deal on the table. If Grady Dick was still on the table at 10, and he wasn't because somebody took Grady Dick before 10. And so they decided not to do the deal with us, which I thought was funny. But I think that in real life, I think that deal could happen. Instant
fan favorite, Grady Dick. Before we move it along, Did you have another Mavs question, KG?
No, let's get to the Wings.
Because, yes, I know that you're a fan of the Dallas Wings like I am, and can we just talk about how good Satu Sabally has been in this current iteration? Like, what have you seen in her game and advancements in her game that's got her going crazy like this and getting double-doubles?
Well, first of all, she's on the floor. That's one thing, because it feels like ever since she's been drafted, ever since we saw her like get drafted number 2 and then talked to Dirk on draft night, and that was that so great Dallas sports synergistic moment. Ever since then, I've been waiting for her to have some kind of breakout year, and she just gets injured. It feels like she just gets hurt, and it's just this weird freak injury, and it's not even like a Porzingis thing where you're like, oh, she just injury prone all the time. She just has had injuries, and so like she only played 11 games last year, 17 games the year before that, 16 games the year before that in a 34 now 40 game season, and she just hasn't had enough time on the court in the WNBA to really put it all together. But this year, she just looks so she's the best player on the Wings. Like with credit to what Arike Ogunbowale has done, Satu Sabaly's been the best player. She was guarding Diana Taurasi at times in that game last night against the Sun. Like she was, or against the Mercury. I always do Phoenix Suns, and I was switching them up because of the orange. She steps up in those moments. She's been scoring from the perimeter. She's been hitting threes, which she hasn't in her career yet. She's been rebounding. She rebounded the heck out of the ball the other night. She's just doing and she's a playmaker. Like she can make plays. She can make plays off the dribble. She can make plays out of a post up. She just has it all. Like they nicknamed her the unicorn. I don't know if she's a unicorn in the W, because there's a couple players that can play like her, but there's not many that can get to that level and can do more and add more with the level of athleticism she has, the touch that she has, and the skill that she has.
She had 24-10 in the win the other day for the Wings. Now 4-3 on the season for the Dallas Wings.
I've been fascinated by like she's been aggressive. She's like taken the challenge of guarding the best perimeter player on the other end. Like it's just been incredible that she's accepted more responsibility and gotten better. Outside of that, obviously this is first year with Coach Trammell. Like what has caught your eye about the way that this team has played in the 7 games under Coach Trammell?
I wish I could still play my Jalen Brunson "The Vibes Are Immaculate" drop, but I wiped it from the soundboard, and it's no longer.
Oh, so as soon as he didn't sign back, you just got rid of him, huh?
Done. No, that's no longer part of the identity. But with LT now, the vibes are immaculate with the Wings. You see, there's a palpable difference. Like my seats are right behind the bench, and you can just see like last year there was like a divide between the two sects of the team. There was like the Alicia Gray side where you're like just fed up with your role and being here and done with this and tired of Arike and like all that, all the shooting and all that. And then there was the other side, like just happy to be here. That seems like those are the two factions that were warring last year. And now it's all cohesive. Now it's all, players that like to be together. You had Natasha Howard, who's been a champion, been a defensive player of the year, like been an all-star, that came in and said, man, I haven't felt like home in a long time in my career, and I feel like home here. And I was like, about the Dallas Wings, like, man, that's a lot coming from a veteran like that comes in and knows how a winning team should operate and how they should play. And so I'd love to see that. They're playing defense. Like Arike Ogunbowale is playing defense at a really good level, which I've been surprised by, and I'm really happy to see. Like she's really got them buying in. She's got them playing at a high level. They just are the injuries, man. Like they lost. Honestly, all 3 of their games that they lost this year, they lost because they're down 2 starters, and they just run out of gas towards the end of these games.
Oh man, we've run out of time. I guess I don't have time to ask you that if Chris Paul reaches the buyout market.
All right.
How much would you be willing to sign him for?
Right.
That's all right. Next time.
I mean, they have like the taxpayer mid-level, which is going to be like $5 million, or the vet minimum, which is like $3 million. So that's really the only thing they could offer him. So,
and LeBron's not here. So,
Oh, wow. You're doing the he's definitely going to LA thing. All right, fantastic. Come on, man.